As I slowly worked my way up the levels and into Premier League, I began taking note of the different drills that happened at each level. I became intrigued by the job the coach had in leading the team and vowed to myself I would learn more about what that role included. At the time, I was a junior coach teaching kids tennis. However, at times, I found myself as more of a babysitter than an actual coach. This is where my desire to pursue soccer coaching began. For my Class 12 project, I decided to combine my two loves and explore a path of soccer that I've never explored before, to force myself to improve my confidence as a young soccer coach. At the time, I was myself being coached by Simon Wells. He had a great influence on my own personal playing style, as I agreed with many of his views on how a team should play, as well as his method of coaching a team. For this reason, I asked Simon to be my mentor for the year. This decision worked to my benefit. Simon was a very useful resource over the year, as he came along to training sessions to assess my coaching and give me feedback. And when I was filming my C license assessment, he was able to critique my coaching and assist me in producing a competent piece of work. At the beginning of the year, I set out with 3 goals to achieve. The first goal was for me to pass the assessment of my C license course and gain my certificate by the end of the year. Because I had this goal in mind, I wanted to be confident that the video I handed in would receive a pass. This resulted in me having to organise players, a session plan, and a photographer to come and film the session 4 times towards the end of the season. In addition, each one of these videos was sent to Simon for feedback until I had sent him one which we both deemed as competent. As a player myself, I have always been more focused on my performance in a game rather than the result, being more upset by a bad shot than a 1-0 loss. This is a mentality that I've transferred into my coaching, and I set myself the goal of seeing visible improvement in the team's performance over the year. The last goal was a personal one, stemming from my lack of confidence as a tennis coach. This was to challenge myself by taking on a team of a higher level to improve my confidence as both a person and as a soccer coach. The C license course was the first part of my project. This was my research stage. I thought the best way to approach the project was to attend the course and learn how to coach, then take that knowledge away and improve my skills in my own practical environment. What this meant is that when I started the course, I had very little prior coaching experience. I found myself quite intimidated when I was grouped with a coach from A-League side Sydney FC's Youth Academy. This intensive course required 100% attendance from 9 AM through till 5 PM, both Saturday and Sunday, for a 5-week period. The course itself included both practical, on-field work, as well as theory-based work. After arriving at the course in the morning, we would begin the day in a room, looking at the theory behind how to coach, with each day focusing on a different specific aspect. After this, the afternoon would be split up into some time out in the 30-degree heat, practicing what we had learnt, and some time in the classroom preparing group training session plans. I personally found the group work quite difficult, as I was grouped with 3 people, each with a very different view on coaching, and each very keen to share their opinion. A lot of group work time was spent discussing specific drills, with no one willing in to give to anyone else's ways. However, while this was frustrating at the time, hearing a range of different opinions from different coaches helped me with my understanding of what we were learning. Upon completion of the course, I focused my attention on passing the C license, a task which I managed to achieve before the deadline, successfully being awarded both a youth and a senior C license certificate. After the course was over, I focused my attention on my coaching. I began by assisting with running a summer academy and helping with the trialling process for the Woden Valley Juniors. After this, I was given the Under-16s Division 1 side and began my preparation. This included preparing pre-season plans and all the background administration. The issue I had with this age group was a clash of times with my own playing commitments. To overcome this issue, I was assigned Mark Murray-Darbella as an assistant coach to run the games that I wouldn't be available for. Mark helped me out constantly throughout the season, taking control of most of the managing aspect. His assistance allowed me to focus on more on the coaching side of things in order to improve my skills. Without this help, I wouldn't have had the time to focus on what I was doing as the coach. By halfway through the season, I had achieved my original goal. I had seen an improvement of performance as I saw the under-16s Division 1 turn from a group of skilled individuals into a team. However, after playing well week after week and contesting in every single game, we found ourselves bottom of the table with only one win. It was this that led me to change my goal for the project. I wanted to focus my attention on turning these good performances into good results. To achieve this, I had to make my instructions clearer and follow what I had learned on the course more closely in order to give the team more structure. It also meant at this stage in the process that I became really intrigued by what influence the coach has on a team, and for me, this became a focus question for the project. Coaching this year has had many positive effects on my sporting life. What I did throughout the year allowed me to improve my own understanding of the sport, work with the club in a different manner to the past, make new contacts who will be a great resource in the future, and I've been able to set myself a solid starting point in my coaching. Attending the course set a good base for me as a coach, but once I had received the information, the only real way to learn was through practice and experience. This became very clear to me after spending a year in my own coaching environment, teaching myself how to advance and improve my skills based off what I had learned. This self-reflection process is vital to improving as a coach, and without it, a person will stay on the same level and never progress. As a coach, I felt as though my strength was in my ability to physically teach the skills to the players. I felt I was able to plan sessions appropriate to the problem needing to be fixed, and was able to coach a lot of the simple skills. However, as a new coach, what I wanted to see from the players was not entirely clear, making a lot of my instructions quite vague. I also struggled a lot with team management, as I constantly found the team with 5 or 6 players turning up to training, and not enough players on the weekend to field the team. Managing this is something I found extremely difficult, and it is something that I'll need to learn to improve on in my future coaching endeavours. One technique I tried was by rewarding those players who were committed to the team and were constantly showing up to training, by giving them a starting place on the field on the weekend. However, this was not successful, as I didn't have enough players on the weekends to implement this. In those circumstances, I found myself driving out to the game, making numerous phone calls to Premier League and Division 2 players to see if they could fill in for the day. This meant that it was hard to have a set structure for the team, and made my job of improving their results a lot harder. My journal was a very useful resource to me over the year. The journal was split up into 2 parts. I had a rough notebook, which was used for notes on the course and session plans throughout the year. And I had a formal type journal, which had entries every time a major event occurred. The type journal was a useful way for me to track the journey and look back at the specifics of what happened and when they occurred. However, it was the notebook that was most useful, as it slowly filled up with information from the course and was followed by rough drafts of drills and session plans, which I could use, alter, and then reuse again in the future. At the beginning of the project, I set out to improve my confidence, both as a person and as a coach. Reflecting back now on the year I had, I feel I now have the confidence to get up in front of a group of players and conduct a session. However, what I have also discovered is that one aspect of my confidence has not improved at all: my ability to coach with others watching. This was a setback I noticed very often during my tennis coaching, and is something that was not an issue for me until Phil Booth, the organiser of the C Licence course, came to watch and assess me. Having someone constantly over my shoulder, pointing out all my errors, made me fall right back into my original pattern of becoming very closed and self-conscious of what I was saying. Upon reflection, I was able to realise that this is something that is not an easy fix. It will take lots of time and experience for me to improve on. However, what this experience did give me is a greater understanding of the game of soccer and a clear overview of the importance of each person in a successful team. The effect this had was a rising confidence in myself as a player, something I noticed evolving throughout the season. So what influence does the coach have on a team? When I first began following professional soccer, I never used to understand why coaches would be fired if a team was playing badly. Then, English side Manchester United spent a successful year under one of the greatest coaches of all time, Sir Alex Ferguson, managing to win the league with several games remaining. Over the summer, the quality of their players improved, but they were given a new coach and ended up being unable to defend their title the next year, dropping on the table significantly. To me, this clearly demonstrates how the coach can be responsible for a team's form due to their role as the leadership figure. The coach is a role model, a person with a wealth of knowledge that the players need to look up to and listen to in order for them to have a positive influence. However, it is not just about how well the coach can teach the skills. It is also about their ability to manage a team. The coach has a big effect on the team's mentality, with a flow-on effect on the team's performance. This became evident to me through seeing things from both the point of view of the player as well as the point of view of the coach. However, for this experience to be positive, the coach must know what they're talking about. Now, at the end of the year, there is one moment in the project that stood out clearly to me and will not be forgotten soon. As we all stood out in the field in the hot sun during the coaching course, one of my peers was being given feedback on a model session that he ran. The only advice he was given was to improve the specificity of the drills. This feedback included a saying, which was repeated many times over the course, and took me a long time to realise the importance of. However, by the time I was being assessed for my C licence, it was clearly stuck in my mind. The session was good, the process was clearly there, but now you need to focus on being more specific in your instructions. The devil's in the detail. Thank you.